It doesn't. It doesn't want to work. Now it does. Great. Well, well, well. Oh, chat window. Why is it not working? That's really annoying. Okay. I'm just testing. Don't kill me. Watching? That's so, what can I do? Yeah. What can I do? Yeah. I can nothing. I don't see it. Nothing. Why? Wings of Redemption. 5 days ago. You're not doing anything, that dude? That's fun.
Isn't about race.
So, what if I want to change all that around? This woke social justice warrior cringe that will scar your brain. I'm sure it will. I'm very sure it will. So what if I want to... Uh-oh, there's somebody watching. That's kind of fun. Video capture device. No. Screen capture. Yes. No. Window capture or screen capture? Window capture. Which one? Ha! Very cool. Whoopee. Whoopee. So full of myself. Big. Other small. Cool. Live chat. Oh, there's somebody. Och, sind ja alle Deutsch hier. Mann. Was macht überhaupt noch? Why are you all awake? Well, that's a pity. Snake One, echt ungewohnt auf den anderen Kanal. I'm just playing around. I don't speak German. Hello.
No, it's not about race.
No,
It's about
a different race.
But it's not about race.
When deconstructing the culture costs
Odin's man, that guy is funny. He's awesome. I gotta subscribe to his channel.
you your job. Good work, Whoopi.
It's not about
What
race.
is it about?
Because you
Oh, we have exemptions.
No, you don't. Everyone has to wear a mask in the building. I have one for each of you.
Ma'am, do you mind?
Take a gander at how the librarian is holding the mask. She brought the barbecue tongs from home. It's the science.
I am the science.
Virginia Baker, because I've emailed about this. Do you mind calling the county administrator?
If you step in the lobby, I'll get my supervisor, okay?
I actually have an email out to the county administrator.
Okay.
He has
Is she just bitching about she has to wear a mask and she doesn't want to wear a mask? That's all? She's making a fuss because of that?
a medical condition.
Does anybody remember the ESPN, the highlight show, right? Where they cover all the plays in less than 60 seconds. I got a good one for you. Stand by.
Neurodivergent noun self pronouns. Neurodivergent noun self pronouns. Animal noun self pronouns.
Neopronouns.
So gender dysphoria.
Gender euphoria. I describe myself as agender.
What is androsexual?
Genderqueer person.
Homosexuality, bi doesn't really fit them, lesbian doesn't really fit them, pan, asexual, etc.
Asexual, demisexual, and QPO.
How about nobody gives two about what you think you are? Ja, nur Deutsche hier. Alle bescheuert, ey. Können wir noch ein bisschen rumbauen. Und sonst, was macht ihr denn, wenn ihr nicht am Schlafen seid? Es ist immerhin 2:30. Wieso seid ihr 2:30 wach? You're the best, your community loves you, Lucy Line. Oh, thank you. That's so nice of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks. I really have to say thanks. Neue Action im Hotel? No, we don't want to show Americans so stupid. Im Bett aber kann ich pennen. Das ist natürlich scheiße. Warum denn? Warum? Ich musste mich gerade wieder mit jemandem unterhalten, der meint, Trump wäre ein riesengeiler Typ. Mein. Verpeilt sein. Oh ja, jetzt habe ich natürlich einen längeren Text geschrieben. Schreibt er nicht zurück.
Biosexual.
Autosexual. Aseflux. Asexuality and allosexuals.
Neuroqueer.
Gray sexuality.
I'm demisexual.
Dexter is agender identity.
Now, if you think what we got here
Why is it that most of the people that think they are somewhat special are just like looking like the only sexual experience they anyway have is with their hands?
is confusing, you're not the only one. New sexualities are always coming out of the woodwork. And if you can't find yours, just wait a minute. We'll make one up for you.
That's similar to being a girl.
Let's talk about QPO-sexuals and
QPO-sexuals and QPO-romantics.
QPO-romantics. Let's talk about libidoist and non-libidoist asexual.
Pangender.
Non-asexual aromantic and allosexual aromantic.
Micro-labels.
People with penises or people with vaginas, rather than saying male and female or men and women.
Now this
Why? Geh mir auch so, kannst du da Tage nicht richtig pennen, echt schlimm. Das ist natürlich kacke. Vielleicht Wetterwechsel? The change of the weather? Can't stand these idiots. I don't know if I can watch them.
is one of my favorites. The participants at the Communist Socialist Party event. You may sit back and say, what kind of people are these? These young communist socialists. Well, this montage sums it up just perfect.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
James Jackson, Sacramento, he, him.
Brian Laverne, he, him.
Hi, I am Andy P. From Los Angeles, they, them pronouns.
Thank you, Chair. Nick, he, him, his from Twin Cities.
James Jackson, Sacramento, DSA, he, him.
Hi, my name is Onlin Wang. I use he, him.
This is Chris, he, him from Cleveland.
This is Daniel Ray from Piedmont. He, him pronouns.
My name is Trey.
Hi, Anna.
I use they.
Based on that small collection of intellectuals, question for you fine viewers. Who wouldn't love to go to the conference and just be a fly on the wall? Watch the infightings, the pronouns, how they change. And then for this poor lady here, shim, her, whatever, she has to deal with it. It'd be like herding cats.
Hi, I'm Nadine, a sex educator.
And I'm Eva, a sex researcher.
I use the pronouns she and her because I'm a woman.
Because that would be the normal pronouns for a female, a woman, a girl.
And when I was your age, I used to be a girl.
Gender is how you feel on the inside about...
I thought you could answer the question, Hank. I don't know myself. I slept restlessly the last 2 days. Well, it might be the change of weather in Germany, because it's coming from a warm front to a cold front, so it's an air pressure change that might cause some people to having trouble sleeping.
Whether you're...
That might cause some people to having trouble sleeping.
A boy or a girl, a man or a woman. If you're non-binary, feel like neither or both. People can also be fluid, feel more like female, more like male.
These kids have been fed the talking points. The indoctrination is going well, comrade.
Based on a different day or time. It's really individual.
Absolutely.
Everyone born with a vulva is a girl. True or false?
True!
Or identifies as a girl. Not everybody is sure, and that makes sense, but...
It makes absolutely no sense. Do you feel bad with the people that have gender dysphoria However, the facts don't change. No matter how much you want them to change, if you're born with the vulva, birth certificates and normal humans used to think that's a female.
Our genitals actually don't determine our gender, so some people born with vulvas can be boys.
Gender creative parenting is a better option for parenting than assigning kids genders at birth.
Your kids are going to be idiots. They already are idiots mostly, and they're going to be even bigger idiots.
How did I know she'd have green hair? This is just perfect, my friends.
Hey, Davey. Yes? If a person doesn't feel like they're a boy or a girl, what do we call them?
They. What are your preferred pronouns? They, them.
So you saw the youngsters in the re-education camp, school. Now here we go with what happens when they become teens. Or their parents just say, hey, non-gender, binary, flu, whatever you want to do, bro, make it up as you go. However, you're born a boy, I prefer you were a girl, wink, wink. Let's watch this.
Hi, I'm Janae. I go by they, she, and my @ is Miss Purple Fluff.
I'm Dominic. I go by he, him, and my @ is...
This one doesn't strike me as a Dominic. Call me crazy.
The trans pan asshole.
I'm Keegs. I use they, it, and my @ is that random person 173.
Okay, I'm Kiara. I use they, he, she pronouns, and my @ is that random Gemini 14. Yeah.
My name is Alexander. I am he, they, and my @ is FatCat1010.
Alexander, please eat some meat. Get off the soy. You look very sick, my young friend.
Yeah, he's probably vegan. He looks really, really sick.
Spelled PH.
I'm Milo. I go by he's it, and my username is my.
Now I don't need to wonder why people with money or people that with children that want them to become something save every penny to get their kids to a private school where that bullshit doesn't fly.
Milo.yeah0.
Hello, my name is Fern. I am transgender. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm also pan.
Hi, I'm Satan. My pronoun is Asto.
Ayo, Dan, he, him. A_fruity_8.
Let's see. So I find women, men, trans people, non-binary people attractive.
This individual likes them all.
Well, this individual has to like them all, otherwise he would not feel any kind of any love anyway, whenever.
Makes selection kind of easy. What you will find with the younger set is that they're very specific to what they want. You better be trans, binary, pansexual.
I would just go to my parents and say, hey, can I have the PlayStation 5? No. Well, what if I'm she then? Or trans? Okay, get your PlayStation 5. Hank.
This person with the pink thing on likes them all. So as the modern leftists go, I would say this would be a liberal leftist, but in the good way. Am I making any sense here?
So, I am a big old queer. Big old queer. Big old queer. Sometimes I call myself gay, sometimes I call myself queer. Sometimes I call myself pansexual, sometimes I call myself bisexual.
Pansexual. In German, Pfannensexuell. You kannst auch nur eine Pfanne hauen. Crack yourself in a pan.
I don't like to be locked into any single term or phrase.
But you are. What's in your pants? There's a dick there, you're a guy.
No one likes commitment when they don't have to. Apparently neither does this individual. Does make life easy. However, I'm not sure how many cis, we'll call it straight men, would be interested in this individual. I do find it mighty equitable. Do they like everybody?
Maybe Rainer Winkler would be interested.
Now compare this individual to somebody 20. They're very specific, and if you don't meet the criteria, you're out. You can't even be a friend. If you're a family member and you voted the wrong way, you're out. The younger set are very, we'll call it intolerant.
I like to keep, I'm a free agent, which is also why I'm so ridiculous when I'm talking about my gender and gender identity and my sex and gender with people. Why I'm so ridiculous about it, because
what is that?
I just don't don't feel like I fall into any categories that society wants to put me in.
Yeah, no, there's a category, crazy person. That has nothing to do with being gay or lesbian or whatever. You're just a crazy person. And that's fine. Streets are full of crazy people. But that doesn't mean our youth or anybody has to listen to that nonsense. And live by that doctrine.
Tips on how you can be a better intersex ally. When it comes to inclusive language, oftentimes people tend to use phrases like people with penises or people with vaginas rather than saying male and female or men and women. While this can absolutely be...
All that stuff can be rewritten. It's a minor inconvenience that we're going to change the language. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, look at the recent budget. Mother gone, birthing person in. New York Times article.
Birthing. So Ich halte das nie aus. Die sind noch bescheuerter als Drachenlord und Konsorten.
Female gone, menstruating person in.
Oh, menstruating person. Okay. Hello, dear menstruating person. I'm gonna greet every woman I meet from now on. Hello, menstruating person.
This is happening, my friends. This is real. Don't ignore it.
Inclusive for trans people. Unfortunately, it's not always the most inclusive language for intersex people. My advice is to use language that focuses on function and not just form. That means focusing on the actual...
Okay, so I call you dummy, because definitely your function is just being a dummy, so I call you dummy. Hello, dummy. What's up, dummy?
function that you're talking about.
I would agree. I like the function over form. So if I was born with a Johnson...
I cannot read this. Ist leider das zweite innerhalb von 2 Jahren. Ich kann die nicht verstehen.
The function is to use it on the opposite, the reciprocating part of the human anatomy.
This is not that it is too big, this package. The risk is that it is too small.
So in the rest of the sane world, the person born with the Johnson would be male. But the way I see it is, if you're born with the Johnson, that usually makes you a male human.
Such as people who can get pregnant, people who can get other people pregnant, people who are at risk of testicular cancer, and so on and so forth.
Now I got an interesting question. Does a trans man need a prostate exam? You wouldn't want to leave him out of the fun. Do they get the cough? Why would we want to exclude them from that? But the prostate exam, I think that's a good idea. So if you're, hear me out, trans man, we got to check your prostate. It's the science, bro.
I am the science.
This is much more inclusive because there are intersex people who are born with a vagina but don't have a uterus or ovaries or an ability to menstruate.
All right, sorry for interrupting, but here's what'll get you. They talk about intersex, a real thing. The big so what here is, how many people in the world are intersexed?
What's that, Snake? Snake One? Snake One calling Snake One. Hank's Basement calling Snake One.
Tiny itsy bitsy fraction. I don't hear any of them complaining. People of this nature will always bring you down into micro fraction arguments, off-topic arguments, and then try to demonize you. Stay on topic. Is a person who
Well, the little wackos have just to learn to say, hey, deal with it. You gotta deal with it. Yes. All these little problems that they make for themselves are no problems. Those are not problems.
menstruates or has a child, is it a female or is it not? I would appreciate this argument more if they just said, we're changing the definition. Get over it, boomer. Versus just using idiot logic that we're supposed to accept.
This is because some people that are born with a penis don't have testes. So it's much more inclusive to say what you actually mean than it is to use language that works around
You don't have testes.
that.
Instead of using the typical mom and dad parent titles, there's actually gender neutral and non-binary parent titles that exist.
Let's just say...
Yeah, I just call you numbnut. That's pretty simple. Big numbnut, because you're running around, you're 18 whatever years old with the Winnie the Pooh thing.
We're having a discussion with this individual. My first question would be, do you have children? How old are they? And do you think this confusion amongst your children is going to help them with these stupid-ass titles for the parents that are mother and father, or mom and dad? You got to see this to believe it.
exist. It can be hard for parents within the LGBTQIA+ community to find a word that they feel comfortable being addressed as by their children.
Let me agree on one thing with this individual. It is hard if you're a tiny minority to find commonality with the majority. So little people, they may find things harder than they would a normal-sized person. However, does that mean we're going to change the language to accommodate a fringe minority? Should everyone be nice? Of course they should. But these people have gone from just saying, be nice to me, to they want to control you, change language, teach the same things to your children. That ultimately is my problem with this whole movement. It's not leave me alone, we'll do our thing. It's you do our thing, comply, bake my cake, or I'm going to sue you and put you out of business.
Oregon appeals court upholds discrimination ruling in Sweet Cake's case, but vacates penalty. Second time Oregon judges found a former Gresham Bakery could not refuse service to same-sex couple on religious grounds. Well, that's all right. But the court found problems with a $135,000 ruling against the baker. Bullshit.
So here are some examples. Dama, Mada,
You sound insane. Do you realize that?
Maddie, Madi, Mappa, Nini.
I think this individual may have lacked.
If I would come to my parents and say, I call you Baba or Boo Boo or Didi now, they would just smack me in the face and I would go back to calling them mom and dad.
Oxygen at birth had been dropped on her
rightfully so
head. Something's just not right, my friends.
Nopa, Nori, Opa,
Cuckoo,
Pere, Pom Pom, Zaza, and Zizi. You can find more examples on
You can find more examples at iamcrazy.org.
the website listed above. I would also like to say I cannot believe that 12,000 of you are following me. Thank you so much. I love you.
What was that?
Isn't about race. No.
On the website.
So yes, if you work out strictly for appearance-based reasons, you are fat phobic.
You know, like the woman in the grocery store who once made fun of my cankles.
To me, it's almost like reverting back to the civil rights movement. Now we're telling fat folks that they have to buy an extra seat. Not too long ago, my grandparents had to sit on the back of a bus. It's like...
If you're that fat that you need 2 seats on a plane, you have to pay for 2 seats on a plane. It's that simple. If you're black or if you're white, it doesn't matter.
Almost like segregating folks based on the way they look.
Wait a second here. Not encouraging people to be morbidly obese is just like racism. Get to the back of the bus, fatty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on now.
I got us donuts. Those are so bad for you. Oh no, are they moldy? I mean, are they poisoned? Are you allergic? No, I'm just saying. You're judging my food choices based on a false standard of health again, aren't you? Guilty.
Diet culture, fat phobia, and systems of oppression have created false hierarchies of food, and it shows up everywhere.
Hold on now. We're going to make up new science based on food choices. So if you eat fried chicken and donuts every day, it's healthy because there is no unhealthy food, albeit you're overweight. Am I missing something here? What are they trying to tell us? It seems like they're actually trying to systematically hurt people of color by telling them there's no bad foods when you're fat.
For instance, harmful thought patterns like earning food through exercising, or that dessert is the reward for the punishment of eating vegetables.
Remember that you do not need to earn food.
We are all incorrectly taught from a young age that our size, and therefore the foods that we eat, are markers of our self-worth. Moralizing food can lead to...
No one's taught that. Maybe she feels this way, but the reality is when you're morbidly obese, your family cares about you. They want.
The good thing is we don't have to care about them too long. Because if they're that morbidly obese, they're not going to make it very long. So, whatever, the local baker will think.
Lose weight so you live longer and can move around and they don't have to bathe you and wipe your ass. So that would be kind of the nice thing to do, right?
Harmful relationships with food and disordered eating.
Instead of focusing on good and bad choices, try to approach food with neutrality in mind.
The only foods that are...
Can we agree on something? There is good and bad food choices. If you eat pizza every night, that would be a bad food choice. What are they trying to do? What message is LA County Schools sending to students? You eat total garbage, but don't worry about it. It's loving. We want you to be fat and not be...
That's because LA County Schools are serving nothing but bad food. Probably that's why they make a video like that. They also could say, well, if you eat like 5 donuts a day, maybe you should spend some time on a bicycle. Be able to walk in 30, 40 years.
able to move. Somehow I'm missing the help of this ad. Like, who is this targeted to?
Bad for you are foods that contain allergens, poisons, and contaminants.
Well, sugar is a poison if you have too much of it. Gluten is a poison if you have too much. Water can be a poison if you have too much of it.
Or food that is spoiled or is otherwise inedible.
Eat without guilt, regardless of what society says.
Smarter in seconds.
Now I'm going to disagree. If you have a habit, a chronic problem of overeating, you should have guilt because you don't need to overeat. A, it's bad for the environment, right? Let's focus on that. Or it's bad for you to move around, to be healthy long term. You don't see the 100-year-olds that are morbidly obese.
No.
Lazy, disgusting,
Right.
perhaps depressed, unmotivated, unhealthy.
Right.
And while a stranger's opinion of me, like the woman and
Did she get anything wrong there? So in her mind, her having cankles and wristles, the wrist is so fat that it like melds over the hand. That's a problem, right? We look at it objectively. A normal person would say, yeah, you're overweight. You're significantly overweight. You don't need the extra pizza.
the grocery store who once made fun of my cankles might hurt my feelings.
Right.
But weight bias that I've experienced in healthcare has hurt me physically. When
She's already breathing like hard. She can't even stand up without. Look at that arm. Look at those arms. That cannot be healthy. And if that's not ugly or not ugly, that's none of my. I don't care. But don't tell me that I have to like it, and don't tell me that lifestyle is healthy and everybody should do whatever the hell they want. Well, everybody should do whatever the hell they want, but then they have to deal with the consequences. Pretty easy.
doctors and nurses have the perception that I'm lazy and unmotivated and non-compliant, that influences the care they provide.
Izzy!
Right? And
Okay, ich verstehe kein Deutsch. Die schwitzt Frittenfett.
has a negative impact.
What would you say about this woman if you saw her? Would you think she's a CrossFit athlete? Would you think she exercises regularly? We're not talking somebody who's 50 pounds overweight. We're talking about somebody who's got fat rolls coming over her hands. Let's be sentient human thinking beings for a second and go, I don't think she exercises too much. Exercising too much would be a good start.
On my health. Now, perhaps you're wondering, how is my health?
Pretty.
Metabolically speaking, I'm actually pretty healthy. I've had...
Wait a second. Metabolically speaking, I can...
Metabolically speaking, so she can eat and poop. Well, that's great.
Look at you and say, this is not good long-term for your health. I don't need you to come up with stupid words to make yourself feel good. Being that large is not good for you long-term. The movement, the diabetes, we all know the outcomes of where this leads somebody, but saying this is healthy, I know it makes these people in the group feel good. They can pat each other on their backs if they can reach that far. But the reality is, we all know this is not good for you.
Test canceled because I weighed too much for the equipment. Okay, if I can't have the test, then how's my doctor going to make a diagnosis? And so I'm concerned. And I speak up and I'm told I shouldn't expect to be accommodated for my poor lifestyle choices.
I guess they want the hospital to buy zoo-sized MRIs, scales for her, but guess what? You and I have to pay for it. At some point, the hospital is not going to eat this cost. They're going to send it to us. And is it my problem? Should I be the one that sacrifices to get an MRI that she fits in? I mean, is that what she's asking for? Let me know. Maybe I should dole out money so she can feed her face, and I should pay for it.
Well, that's weight bias. I'm told that doctors and hospitals...
She seriously cannot breathe. She can't breathe.
Shouldn't have to buy expensive equipment for just a few patients.
No, I shouldn't.
Now the pulmonologist walks in the room and greets me by saying, oh, I know why you're short of breath. You weigh over 300.
She can barely breathe giving her lecture to the rest of us, and she thinks that not being morbidly obese, not having fat around your lungs, has no bearing on her shortness of breath. I mean, the pulmonologist can stick with the simple thing. If somebody's morbidly obese and they can't barely breathe, that's probably a clue.
100 pounds. I don't even need to examine you.
Very small.
I think what's most scary is comments like these, because people don't realize that fat phobia is rooted in racism and more specifically anti-blackness. When slavery became more widespread, it was hard to just rely on skin color as a way to identify slaves. Fatness.
So I guess the play here is, if you say someone's fat, it's racist. something just shuts you up. And it's not like any of us care for more than 2 seconds if we see someone who's 600 pounds waddling around. But if it's your family member, your kid, you care about them. You want them to be healthy. You want them to live long term. It's not good. So you can say it's racist. You can have fun with it. I can even agree just to shut you up. But at the end of the day, you're still not healthy.
As a physical descriptor fit the savage narrative that whites used to oppress black people. Obviously, a lot has changed since the 18th century. We know fatness is not specific to black people, and we've used that as an excuse to shape a society.
I don't think we ever thought fatness was equal to black people. I'm trying to understand this. If there's a marginal...
Fatness is equal to black people. Isn't it just saying that already? I mean, that would be racist, but who does that? I think fatness is equal to a shit ton of donuts and Coca-Cola. And I don't know. Pizza. Tons of pizza. Or chocolate ice cream. I eat a lot of chocolate ice cream. But I also move around, so...
Marginalized group, and they're overfed. They're getting more food. I'm missing the oppression, how all this works. I'm trying to understand that.
Ebbeswalker, moin, I haven't seen you.
That if it's so bad for them, if they're overfed, in most third world countries, people are skinny. How does this work?
Idle beauty standard that is anti-fat. That includes being thin. That includes gaining muscle so you can look toned and have less fat on your body. And what happens if you don't meet the standard of beauty? You will face systemic oppression. You cannot always...
She's conflating a few issues here. The standard of beauty and being morbidly obese, being fat. You want to go to the gym to be healthy, right? And also it's healthy mentally when you like the way you look because you don't have fat rolls coming over your hands. That's a nice way to look in the mirror and feel good about yourself.
Determine health by your body's appearance. So yes, if you work out strictly for appearance-based reasons, you are fat phobic.
Okay.
And before you comment, read the definition of fat.
Fatphobic. Okay, so jetzt mal eben in Deutsch, alle die Rainer nicht mögen, sind alle nur fett, haben alle nur Fettphobie. Wir sind alle fettphobisch. Fatphobic. We're fatphobic.
Fatphobia. If you decided to...
Here's the thing. I don't care what the definition is because they'll change it and make it up on the regular. If you're...
Anti-fat is anti-dying with 32, yeah.
Going to the gym to try to lose weight for your health and for your mental health, what's the problem with that? Do we have to say everything's a phobe, a racism, a some kind of bad word?
Yeah, those funny kids nowadays are only happy if they can name you something. They can call you something phobic. You are donut phobic. You are beard phobic. You are whatever phobic. Phobic. Whatever. You got to be something phobic.
Make the rest of us feel bad and themselves feel good.
Work out in order to change your body's appearance to avoid weight stigma, that is still fat phobia.
Oh,
fat people can be fat phobic.
No, you do sports, you work out, that you can run 100 meters maybe, just or go for a hike a few miles without having to sweat like a pig.
Skinny people can be fat phobic. I'm fat phobic, and it's no...
Think how this works. If you got light skin and you're 600 pounds, you definitely could be fat phobic. But if you got darker skin or you're part of the ABC Mafia, you can't be fat phobic. I'm pretty sure that's how this narrative plays out.
No one's fault. We are conditioned to
If you're thin, you're Big Mac phobic.
Hate fat people. If that's why you started and that's why you're still going, then cool, great for you. Working out is still really good for you, no matter the reason. But I hope one day you learn to love fitness for the actual health benefits, like for your heart and your joints and your muscles.
She's missing the mental health part of this. So if you feel better because you can fit into your clothes, having to cinch the belt down where it's uncomfortable, it's good for your mental health, right? You look in the mirror and you go, wow, I lost weight. I feel better about who I am as a person. And of course, the lack of extra medical disease diagnosis is important, right? But these people just don't have no off button.
Not just because you look a certain way.
It must be difficult.
It is difficult, and those are the things that we are seeking to change. We're changing the paradigm that we are not the problem. The problem is that our world doesn't accommodate a diversity of bodies. So that's what we need to change, not so much changing who we are and changing our body, but...
You're still not going to find a lot of people that want to make sweet love to you. Just be honest. You're not good. I mean, the normal person that works out, that is healthy, does not want to climb on the couch or in the bed with anything.
But instead changing society.
Let's be honest with each other here. If they put in extra plane seats, wider plane seats for overweight people, and it cost you another $150 per ticket, would you do it? Now, I'm not talking in your make-believe, sniffing your own farts world. I'm talking about you actually wanting to pay that. Our normal-sized airline customer is going to be happy making seats bigger for fat people, or would they be happier with paying less money?
I swim 2.5 kilometers a day. I walk, I exercise all the time. I am in a synchronized swimming team.
All right, so if you saw this lady, 2.5 kilometers a day swimming, exercise all the time, and she's eating and still this fat, you'd say, okay, you've got a unique metabolism, so you eat half of what you're putting in your face. But do you believe that? I hear that often where people go, yes, I'm morbidly obese, but I exercise all the time. And you ask them what they do, and they lie a little bit, and then you see them. And exercising means walking to the refrigerator to grab 4 Hungry Man TV dinners and stuff them in your face. That doesn't count.
And
it doesn't?
The lady at the front desk said that they have a policy you're not allowed to wear sports bras to the gym, that you have to be,
right,
that you can't be showing your belly. She said, it's fine for this time, but just so you know for next time. For reference, this is my shirt.
So she signs up to a gym, they say, no sports bras allowed. You can't show your stomach. Okay, you either don't go to the gym or that's their policy. And if you wear it, they say you got to leave. It's not because they're fat phobic. That's the rules they set, right? I don't care if you're super thin.
Usually they do these, they have these policies because they don't want bigger people feel uncomfortable when they see all these trained bodies. That's why they do it. They don't do it to shame the fat people.
She's, of course, going to equate it somehow to discrimination because she's chubby. She's fat.
I'm probably
Don't stream in my stream, Bob.
like this.
Bob.
Anyway, so I was like, okay, that's fine. I went to do my workout. I'm 15 minutes in on the treadmill, and the program coordinator for the gym came up to me and asked me to leave. I was so embarrassed.
Now, of course, a sad event. I don't know if I was the program director. I'd say just next time, figure it out, or give her a T-shirt if you're so interested in the policy. You don't want her to leave, but her crying is not about her getting kicked out of the gym. Her crying is because she's overweight and can't lose it, and it's sad. I genuinely feel for people who are morbidly obese or fat. But again, the basics aren't hard. So if whatever you're eating, you're not losing weight, you eat less of that. And I know there's food deserts and the quality of food. The least of these people's worries is malnutrition long term. That's the least of their worries.
Hi, my name's Kath Reid. I'm a fat activist in Brisbane.
She's a fat activist? Yeah, I can see she's a fat activist. What is she an activist for, though?
At Fat Heffalump, where I've been blogging for about 5 years. And it's my goal to change the way people think about fatness.
Right.
I discovered fat acceptance probably about
You can do whatever the hell you want. I still don't think it's sexy. It doesn't matter. And by the way, buying a bigger dress that is a little nice, buying a little bicycle, putting nice little stuff in your hair, changing the color, putting up nice makeup, anything but jogging or having a salad from time to time. And the salad not with the meal, instead of a meal, or as a meal.
6 years ago, I think it was on Twitter that somebody must have retweeted.
The stinking cesspool dark hole of the world, Twitter. So she finds on Twitter, they're like, yes, you being 500 pounds is totally acceptable. You should feel good about it. We should pat you on the back and say you're healthy. And the delusion, right? She loves it. She goes right into the bubble and goes, well, if it's on Twitter, it's got to be true.
Tweeted an article, and as per anything on the internet, you read one and the vortex gets you, and you read the next thing and the next thing.
We live in a culture where being fat is seen as being a bad person.
Wow. No, that's completely wrong. Nobody says that. Just, it's not very attractive. And that's the only thing you're dealing with. People don't find you attractive. And that makes you depressed. Because you want to be attractive. But attractive also has something to do with healthiness. I don't even know what. This is so annoying. This is
lazy, greedy, unhealthy, irresponsible, and morally suspect. And we tend to see thinness as being universally good.
That channel is Odin's Man. Yeah, it's questionable. Could be some right winger, but he has good points. Odin's Man.
I don't know if we see thinness as universally good, but we see someone morbidly obese as they need to lose weight for their own benefit. The rest of us really don't care. Everybody will crack a joke and care for 2 seconds, but they really don't care about other people. That's the thing about all these attention-seeking zealots. They think the rest of us really care. Until you shove it down our throat enough, and then we get pissed off about it, we just don't care enough. Enjoy being fat, but don't complain to me and say I should pay for your elephant-sized MRI and pay for your health care when you sit on your ass and jam food down your throat. It's hard for me to have a heart on that one.
Responsible, successful, and in control of our appetites, bodies, and lives. But we must question it, because the enormous value we place on how we look.
Can you hear the heavy breathing just by standing on a stage?
Affects every one of us. And do we really want to live in a society where people are denied their basic humanity?
So yes, if you work out.
These are all microaggressions that I have experienced.
Microaggressions are also awesome. Wanting romance as an autistic, the G.
Can we talk about the absolute agony of wanting a romantic relationship?
My least favorite excerpts from
What?
this book that he published in 2015 depend on how much enjoyment or guilt the adult feels. If the adult feels very guilty, then he did not gain an unfair share of the transaction surplus.
Like, I got into an argument with a
What an idiot. That's stupid.
family member about this subject recently. We are programmed from a very young age to believe that certain forms of labor are not only less than, but deserve to be ridiculed.
Yeah, we are programmed at a young age that certain things are not acceptable. Yeah. That's what you call a functioning society.
Today I was misgendered at a Texas hospital, so I proceeded to ask for her manager.
This time I was the one sedated. Pretty much every person that I knew there would call it booty juice.
Is it booty juice or booty sweat? Name that movie. Welcome to TikTok.
Want to read about nothing. Reading is for communists. If I don't agree with it, it ain't history. In summation, the only book anyone ever needs is the Bible.
Now, this plump-bearded man's got to make funny of people that are not like him. I remember, older most of you folks, all these people wanted was acceptance, to be loved. It never stops there.
Which I love.
I am a non-binary, pansexual, aromantic mess.
Yeah, I can see that you love pans. Frying pans.
I looked at gender and went, don't get it, no thank you.
Who doesn't get gender? Like, when did this become a thing? You grow up, you're around other kids, you get gender because some of the boys like to do sports maybe, and some of the girls maybe don't. Maybe there's some cross-pollination. But no one doesn't understand gender unless you're brainwashed not to get it. People like this individual have been brainwashed for years. Their parents are brainwashed. And this is the result of decades of deconstructing the culture. And what do I mean by that? Saying up is down.
God, yeah, the whole list here is, God, it's sneaks. Hi. Is anybody here who's English speaking? Why is it all just Germans? Not just Germans. Germans are awesome. Okay, I got it.
I'm a 4th grade teacher, and I do a lot of work with social justice and equity in my classroom. We have racialized conversations all the time.
4th grade. Well, they're 10 years old. Okay.
I, Hannah Fandensteel, am a racist. I am a
Take a gander at what 4th grade curriculum's supposed to look like. No wonder the kids coming out of school are morons.
product of the white dominant structure I was raised in. My people have done an excellent job lifting each other up. Unfortunately, that was on the backs of people of color. Because this is deeply embedded in my history, it is no wonder I was passed down views that are racially...
Do you notice something here? It's always about their history, not the kids' history, but the teacher's problems have to enter the classroom. God help us.
problematic. Even though white supremacy can be unconscious, it is constant. Living in this society would have been a miracle for me to be anything but racist. Now that I know I have deeply rooted racist tendencies, I can constantly be looking and listening for how they surface in my life.
Here's a question for you guys. Since she's got deeply rooted problems, does that mean the kids have the problem? I'm going to keep saying this. This isn't her...
As he said, we don't need to wonder that our kids are coming out of schools being morons because their brains are filled with utter nonsense.
Friend group, her cry closet, or her Wednesday and Friday group therapy session.
When a person of color gives me feedback for not being a good ally, I can say thank you and not get defensive. Something here I said could have been problematic because I'm always learning.
Okay, guys, I can't. This is too funny. So I'm at work.
What in the hell is in this person's face? It looks like she's got desert boogers, like she's been in Las Vegas too long, putting some Colombian snow up her nose, and then the mucous membranes got crusty.
Those of you who don't know me, I use they, them pronouns, and I'm a preschool teacher. So instead of using Mr. or Miss, we use mix. So the kids have been really awesome doing that. I work with 3 and 4 year olds.
3 and 4 year olds.
One of my kiddos came up to me and he goes,
The kids have been really awesome. Let me translate. The deconstruction of the culture is going well, comrade.
"Are you mixed up? Are you mixed up?" I was like, "No, sweetie, I'm not mixed up. I just use mix instead of Mr. or Mrs." And he's like, "Okay." I was worried.
Oh, my name's Josh. I use they, them pronouns in English, ella en español, and I got a lot of questions like this. So how do I bring this up to my teacher? How do you talk to colleagues about it? How do people respond to you? So where I work, everybody was really receptive.
My kid would not have. No.
They wanted to learn more about.
Really receptive. Let me translate woke logic again. They had no choice. They got the memo. They wanted to keep their job. That's what really receptive means.
It's been a slow process, but they're learning more and they're integrating it. And this is across languages, so I feel super lucky. However, I know that's not the case for a lot of people.
Now, can you imagine a young couple just got here from Guatemala? Be honest with me here. Do you think they're really receptive to this kind of teacher? Their kids need to learn the basics, right? But you got a teacher who's going to spend time on her pronouns, Shim's pronouns, Zer's pronouns, instead of...
Maybe that's why some kids such a... I don't get it. If you like...
Going with the premise that, hey, maybe English is not the first language in your house. We need to get you up to speed. Oh, no. Let's do some woke indoctrination so you'll never be successful in society.
All I can say is that try to talk to your teacher about it and explain to them that this is what non-binary people are doing in the language, and that by not including language like this.
I'm going to give this person a pro tip. Romantic languages, to include Spanish, don't have non-binary. They use masculine and feminine to describe things. So now the kids may not only suck at English, but they're going to be confused as shit in their own language. Do you see the problem here?
In the classroom, they don't see any problem. It's making...
That's one thing. They don't see the problems of others. Their only problem is themselves. Okay, back to sleep for me. Redo, gute Nacht. Good night.
People who are non-binary, or maybe are non-binary and they don't know, feel unsafe, and that it's actually transphobic, and that they're excluding people's identity in the classroom and making them not feel safe when using...
You ever hear the kid story where the boy cries wolf too many times? These people use phobe so much that they're crying wolf all the time. So if there ever was an actual phobe, you're not going to believe them, because everybody seems to be a phobe if you...
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's all that... You're a right winger, you're a left wing, you're this phobe, you're that phobe, you're trans. It doesn't. At one point, it doesn't matter anymore. Everybody's like, whatever.
Don't 100% agree with them.
That language. So that's all I can say. It's really difficult if people are resistant to it, but we gotta keep fighting.
So I have a quick announcement for everybody. Can everybody look up from their phones? My class is important, please. Hello, I'm waiting. You guys look at me. So I usually go by Mr. Johnson, but I would like to be called Zoa now. My name is Zoa, and I'm non-binary.
Microaggressions within children.
I'm going to ask you guys this question. Is there a need to tell the students your new personal shit? Can they not just play along with Mr. Johnson and maybe next year, beginning of class, get into the unique pronouns? Now the kids are going to spend the next few weeks talking about it, cutting up, getting it wrong. We're worried about Zoa's pronoun. Meanwhile, in China...
4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Very well, very well.
The kids are learning calculus in 8th grade. And our kids get out of school and barely can add and subtract. But here's the ultimate point. This isn't working. Education is going down. We're spending more money on it. And the product we're getting is worse than ever.
Literature Part 2. This one's from 2010. Yet even though it's 2010, we're still going to call them Indians. That's illegal. But these children's quote-unquote history books are so problematic that I came up with another method. So instead of returning them, since not returning them is illegal, you just cyclically renew them so that they never stay on the shelf.
Here we go with the rewriting of history. This person doesn't like the book, so I'm just going to renew them all the time so no one else can see the book. If you haven't read 1984, this is exactly it. And now that all history is on the internet, you can wipe it off at a swipe of a key. So what was history is now erased. And then you get people like this teacher who are going to take the books out because they don't like them.
Today, my student pulled me aside to ask me if I was trans. I said yes, and almost immediately they said, so when I grow up, I can actually be a boy? And honestly, I'm just proud they could say it out loud, because that really takes a lot.
Yeah, if you grow up and you're a girl, you want to be a boy, you can take the hormones, get the surgery, but guess what? What's up here, you're still going to feel like a girl. And then you're going to be hypersensitive when someone looks at you and think, do they think I'm a girl or a boy? Because everyone watching this can tell when they're there's a female that transitions to male. We all can see it. I would never be mean to that person, but the person knows I can tell, and it's got to affect them. Exactly. So the bottom line here is the person's still going to feel like a girl. I like dressing up as Batman during Halloween, but I don't feel like Batman. You get it?
District in my school, and I'm not the only one who has flags up either. This is another classroom, another one. One more. And then we got my room, of course. And my cute little flower one. And this is the best one yet.
Let's play along with this for a second. So let's say you have the rainbow flag up, but you're demisexual.
How do kids learn anything there? Other than, we have to know that there's more than two genders. Being fat is super healthy and blah, blah, blah. After 4 years of elementary school, they're coming out like, duh. What is 2 plus 2? I don't know, but that person there is a he, him's huzzle huzzle.
Does that make you feel triggered because they don't have the demisexual flag up, but the pansexual flag? Is it possible to make all these tiny minorities in the ABC Mafia happy? And the answer is, of course not. That's not the point here.
Conservatives are so obsessed with ensuring that black and brown people stay disenfranchised that they are willing to completely destroy America's public education system. In conservative states, it is...
Let's talk a little facts for a moment. The schools with the most money coming into them, used to be Chicago, have the worst education. Let's narrow that down even further. Those schools that I mentioned were primarily minority schools. So basic logic would tell you throwing more money at the problem doesn't fix it. What would fix the problem? Maybe the parents doing the homework with the kids. Maybe education being a top priority the parents push down to the kids.
That is exactly the problem. The kids are not getting educated. Parents are sitting on the couch eating chips, drinking Coke or beer or whatnot, and let the kids do whatever they want. They get their education from the streets or from YouTube or from TikTok. The worst.
Perhaps instead of letting the kids get on TikTok or Xbox, you make them read a book. This isn't complicated.
Currently illegal to mandate masks in schools during a global pandemic. This means that when white kids get sick from COVID, it'll be easy to convince people that we should stop funding those damn public schools and start funneling money into private ones.
Let's address that for a moment. So if I pay property taxes into the school system, or even federal taxes because the Department of Education gives these schools money, and since it's my money, if I want to divert those funds to a charter school, something in that nature, that shouldn't be a problem when you have teachers like this. However, as we know, the teachers' union's so strong, it's hard to get your kids into a charter school, get a credit, because guess what? As taxpayers, we're already paying for this.
Then on Wednesday, yesterday, they came to me and they said, you know what? My pronouns are they, them. I want you in the class to use they, them. Okay, cool, great. They come to class today. There's names on desks in groups for assigned seats.
Yeah, because kids are whatever. You can tell them whatever, and they're all right. It is just absolutely ridiculous. Put that nonsense.
They can't find theirs because I guess my first class knocked it off. So I go to the class. Hey, is she in anyone's group? Does anyone see her name? It took me 5 minutes to...
Yeah, because the kids were taught basic grammar. They're not totally indoctrinated into the idiot logics. So yes, they're going to mess up the newfangled advocacy program. But rest at ease, comrade. You can indoctrinate these young kids very easy.
Yes, well, as many of you know, I actually do teach in a state where the teaching of critical race theory has been banned. And of course, I would never do anything to oppose Supreme Leader DeSantis. Just not in my nature to do that sort of thing. But if I were, which I'm not, if I were, I would make sure that there were lots of works by people of color in the curriculum that I was teaching. I would make sure that we were...
How about this idea? Whatever you're teaching, just use the appropriate book. The person's light skin, dark skin, medium skin, just use the book to teach the kids. These people were the dorks in school that now have a modicum of power, and they're going to use it to screw up your kids. Let's say you don't have kids. You say, hey, buddy, I don't have kids. Not my problem. Well, guess what? It's your coworker. It's your boss. It's the idiot you have to hire. This is not a sustainable solution for a productive society.
Having conversations.
God, das... ja. Ja, wieder Deutsch. So, Englisch-Stream funktioniert, ne? Aber bessere Themen braucht man. Das nervt ja nur. Ja, ganz übel. Alter Schwede, ist das übel. Der heilige Ofenkäse? The Holy Oven Cheese? Morgen ist Sonntag, da bringe ich meine Frau schlafen hin oder so. Und math is racist?
It shows up in everyday teacher actions. It's not like, oh, I'm like a lot of teachers decide, oh, I'm going to be racist today.
Math is racist.
Now, what you saw in the beginning, you think, what can that be? This is an older clip. JT, that can't be true. Hold on, not so fast, hotshot. That beginning clip, look in the description, was from February 2021. Now, what was it? It was a math teacher online conference of how math is racist. Let's keep going.
Social justice in with math, including studying how math has been appropriated by Western culture and that math itself is racist. Ann DeLesio Parson is a sociologist and educator who agrees with the premise of the proposal and joins me now. All right, so Ann, let me just see where I'm confused so you understand.
Now, this right here is an assault on people they're saying that get discriminated against. So what do I mean? If you say math is racist, that gives you a crutch not to be good at math. Well, it's racist. I can't be good at it, right? You're taking something away from these people, meaning people that consider it racist. I don't even know who these are. This woman, a sociologist, right off the bat, you know, she's wackadoodle. Look at her.
What's going on? I am bad at math. And if math is racist, then I'm also white. Does that make me too dumb to be racist or not racist enough to be good at math?
Not racist enough. Jesse, that's such a long conversation. First of all, remember Dr. DeLesio Parson.
Yes, Dr. Parson.
So please don't refer to me by Ann, but I appreciate it.
Boy, this woman's got a chip on her shoulder, doesn't she? She fits the stereotype. I hate to say it, but look at her. She checks all the boxes, doesn't she? For a social justice warrior who just hates herself, though. That's the thing about this. instead of doing something about it, like tutoring, throwing money at it, saying it's racist, and then walking away from the problem, these people, that's what they do. And they'll put a post on Facebook and then go back to drinking their wine.
I apologize, doctor.
Thank you.
Okay, tell me why math is racist, doctor.
Yes. So, it's funny, on November 6, 2016, I was at a conference on statistics, and I raised my hand, and I was like, are you telling me statistics are racist? And that was, almost 3 years ago? And I was really confused when I asked the question and spent years reading about many different things. Have you, Jesse, read?
They're obfuscating the issue on purpose. So maybe you can take bits and pieces of statistics, right? And you can make it however you want. So you can take a piece here, a piece there. But the actual function of doing the statistics, the calculation, or the mathematics, it's not racist. And if you tell people it is, they're not going to be an engineer. They're not going to be anything in the hard sciences. They're going to have a shitty job because they're not going to be able to get the degree they want. Saying this is such an insult. I can't imagine if I was an African-American man and they said this to me. I would be so pissed off.
Native Son, which I gave you last time we met.
I read it in high school, but I have not reread it since the last time you gave it to me. But what does that have to do with is math racist?
So the critical race theory is a framework for understanding the world that helps us understand that this entire country is racist, right? We have a white supremacist racial caste system.
Die ganze Welt ist racist. Aber so. Man kann sich halt dann dementsprechend, beziehungsweise, oder man gehört halt zu der Gruppe der Rassisten halt auch überall auf der Welt, oder man gehört nicht dazu.
In the United States.
Wait. Can you just stop for 1 second? Right? Are you saying that all white people in America are racist?
Yeah, I am too. Sometimes it happens. We were socialized, right?
Ja, wenn man das so sieht, sind dann aber auch die Schwarzen genauso. Man hat immer Vorurteile gegen. Nur ob man die dann auslebt oder ob man, das ist halt eine andere Sache.
You know, the crazy part about all these type of people like this woman is if you got a melting pot of people who came here from somewhere else, that means that they brought their racism with us. You know, this is circular logic. You can't win with these people. And they just do this for effect. They're race hustlers, right? Or they're social justice hustlers is now should be the more appropriate term. They want to get on TV, get a book deal.
Process of socialization and learning about social norms.
So you're
that
racist.
Happened.
You're a racist.
Occasionally, it happens.
How?
I usually apologize it when I realize it.
How are you a racist? What do you think makes you superior?
Jesse, that question doesn't make sense.
Well, isn't racism the belief that one race is inherently superior than another race, and then you discriminate against other races?
That is a piece of racism, but you gave a definition that's really old. And language evolves over time.
Okay,
and race and white supremacy. What are race and white supremacy today?
Yeah, okay.
They are structures that affect us all.
You know, language does evolve over time, but not in like a decade. Like 10 years ago, we didn't talk about this. These would be fringe people. Now, you could say she's still fringe. However, I mentioned the video, February 2021, Math Teachers Conference. They're talking about this. So it's not a fringe topic anymore. This is going into the education system. Now, it is California, the Bay Area teachers that are doing it. But these people are equating racism in the hard sciences, so math.
So people do things that are racist all the time, myself included, because we don't realize that's happening, like microaggressions.
Okay, microaggressions, fine. I think we're getting sidetracked a little bit, Doctor. Explain how math is racist. I still haven't really understood the premise from you.
Well, the first premise, the first starting point that we have to get on the same page on is that we live in a white supremacist racial caste system.
Okay, I'm not willing
Are we on the same page about
agree
that?
with that. No, I disagree with that. But just explain, because we're running out of time, Doctor. How is 2 plus 2 equals 4? How does that discriminate against black people or brown people?
1 stick plus 2 stick. Humans were like, hey, here's a stick, here's another. I just did some math.
All right, I don't care if it's a stick, a strawberry.
Ich habe noch einen anderen Idioten hier bei Discord, der mich zuballert mit irgendwelchem Trump-Scheiß, ey. Ist mir doch egal, ob der Typ. Wer als Deutscher sagt, Trump ist großartig, kann sie auch nicht alle. Haupt hat uns gegenüber. Überzeugte Yeah sagt. Weiß ich da. Wir werden wahrscheinlich lieber Katzen wie. Idiot. Typ. Okay. Katzen gehen immer Henk. Ja, ne? Yes. Math is racist because it makes sense. Ja, genau. Könnt ihr alle nicht pennen? Ja, gut. Ja, wie viel haben wir? 9 Leute. 9 Leute in Germany können nicht pennen. Was haben wir? Telegram stirbt jetzt auch, gibt nichts Neues. Braindead von Gallifrey, denen fällt auch nichts mehr Neues ein. Oh, die Zahl nimmt. Oh, ja. Nee, immer noch nicht hellwach. Somni. Oh mein Gott. Ja, immer. Als heißt Trump. Von mir aus soll der verrecken. Am besten heute Nacht noch. Mein Gott. Gott, ist der doof. Das Trump-Imperium, Firmen und Vermögen der US-Präsident. Alterspräsident. Geschätztes Vermögen 2,96 Milliarden Euro. Ja. Doof ist er denn? Dafür schuldet er aber auch 90 oder fast 95% von den Geldern. Gott, ist der Typ. Kann nicht. Zwei. Der hat aber keiner gekauft. Trump. Er konnte doch nicht mal die Schreiner für seinen Golfplatz, den letzten Golfplatz, den er in Schottland gebaut hat, nicht mal die hat er bezahlt. Ah. Ist denn der Chat? Der nix chatten, der. Ah, Kacke. Oh. Ich glaube, der Typ will mit Trump schlagen. Machst du wieder Fanmanagement? Ja, ich muss sagen, wie findest du noch was anderes? Ich finde, du harmonierst super mit Excel. Ja, ich mach den auch gerne. Ich finde, das ist ein cooler Typ. Wann kommt eigentlich der Henk ASMR-Channel? Ich möchte das nicht. Ich könnte da gar nicht ernst bleiben. Ich weiß gar nicht, wie die das machen, da über eine halbe Stunde oder Stunde da rumzusitzen, da irgendwelchen Scheiß ins Mikrofon zu spunkeln. Da würde ich mir sowas von bekloppt bei vorkommen. Das gibt's gar nicht. Überziehen. Ja? Kann man als normaler Mensch, gerade als Deutscher, Trump-fanatisch, Wachkopf hat nur Scheiße gemacht. Laut und deutlich, meine Güte. Was denn? Hallo? Düdelüdelüd. Nein, dann stimmt, dann nimmt das Mikrofon das nicht auf, ist richtig. Ich habe gelernt aus dem Fakt, dass man mich heute pinkeln hören konnte. Entschuldigung. Da hat er Pipi gemacht, hat man ja gehört, so eine Schweinerei.
Ganz liebe Grüße nochmal aus.
Ich hab doch.
Ganz liebe Grüße.
Denn da der. Der Wendler. Ja, schlimm. Ja, das glaube ich wohl. Mann! Muss umschalten. Switch Account, da. Frank Lose, Englisch.
Ganz liebe Grüße nochmal aus.
Frank Lose, Englisch. Jetzt kann ich aber zu Jutta. Danke. Toll. Wieso sehen mich eigentlich? Ich glaube, ich muss irgendwas ändern. Es kommen 0 Englischsprecher, also amerikanische Zuschauer. Irgendwas habe ich falsch eingestellt. Ich bin nicht blöd. Ja, ist richtig. Zum Glück warst du nicht kacken. Das ist zumindest leiser. Also hoffe ich jedenfalls. Hauptsache, du machst nicht den Monte in Dosen. Wächst da noch rein, bist ja noch jung. Ja, danke, Izzy. Kannst du nicht ausdenken, also wirklich. Bist ja gestolpert, aua. Ja, ich mir in den Zeh gehauen an der Stufe. Anne Munso. Was hat sie gefragt? Was hat sie gesagt? Anne? Meinst du mit? Achso, ja. Also wie gesagt, ich habe nichts gegen schwul, lesbisch, trans, soll jeder so glücklich sein, wie er will. Aber diese ganzen Leute, die das sehen, ja, aber ich stehe aber auch auf Meerschweinchen. Ja, also bin ich jetzt, was weiß ich, schlangophob. Keine Ahnung, das ist mir alles zu blöd. Also die haben echt viel zu viel Zeit. Die werden auch noch merken, dass man nicht nur noch Latte saufend irgendwann irgendwelche Kunst herstellen kann. Denn die muss auch einer kaufen. Dafür muss dann der oder die das kauft, auch Geld verdienen. Also irgendjemand muss noch richtige Jobs machen. Das wäre es gewesen. Kackgeräusche, ASMR mit Hank. Möchte das nicht. Das habe ich, nein, das möchte ich nicht. Was Neues auf Instagram? Nö. Bock anziehen. Ah ja. Ich weiß. War schon ewig nicht mehr im Kino. Marktlücke. Kack ASMR. Arsch MR, keine Ahnung. Karens sind auch. Oh. Kannst du nie rein. Da krieg ich schlechte Laune bei sowas. Und mein Handy verbessert mich ständig, meine Geräusche. Ups, meine Bett komme. Kann man das hören? Oh ja, geht. Da mal ins Bett. Wo ihr auch sein solltet übrigens. 9:50 Uhr. 4 Uhr morgens gleich. Ah, Leute, och Leute. Genau. Weißt du ja, war gestern, ich schlafe zum Sound von frischen Ofenkäse, der im Backofen gerade. Dieses herrliche Brutzeln des Ofenkäses. Oh Mann. Alles klar. Leute. Danke, dass ihr hier nochmal reingeguckt habt. Ja, wie spät ist es bei dir? Also bei uns gleich 10 Uhr. Also 22 Uhr. 10 PM. Ausspricht mit Katze. Also mit dem also mit Remy. Das hier irgendwie falsche. Ne? Also ich sag mal euch, gute Nacht. Und Untertitel bei Kakao, genau. Kasayo, genau. Schlaft alle gut. Danke, dass ihr reingeguckt habt. Und ja. Vielleicht bis morgen. Middle off.